Hello everyone and welcome back to Sophie Rose World. I'm joined by the wonderful lead judges here. Of course, we're still filming and we thought we would do a little extra video on something that I think needs to be discussed for all sorts of reasons. Morally, ethically, however you want to put it. I think it's not very professional of us or for just anyone to ignore. And that is sort of, during the international break, I think actually in general over the last few months, it's come out more that sort of, whether you want to say people in the limelight, famous celebrities, think that for some reason they sort of use their status as an abuse of power. I think that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with the Mason Greenwood stuff. Obviously, nothing's been proven yet. All we know is that he's in custody for the alleged pictures and voice notes that were out. Sky Sports done a little bit reporting on it, and I think a lot of the United fans have voiced their opinions. Obviously, you're innocent until proven guilty, and we actually don't know the ins and outs of it. And I think that would be something that you find out. But from what we did see, it was horrific.
Yeah, it seems to be happening more and more.
Yeah.
And it is a bit of a worry, and what is a big worry for me is that someone like Mason Greenwood is only like 20 years of age. So young to be doing things like that, allegedly, if that's the case. So look, there's no excuse if you're even older, but it seems like, it's like what how I see it is like these footballers, and particularly if we're talking about footballers at the moment, we can go on to other things as well. They're being told they're this and this and this all the time, you know what I mean? And doing things and be given them a free pass to do whatever they want in certain things, and then it escalates.
Yeah.
And into this sort of thing. Listen, it's not all footballers, we know it's not, but there are now.
Well, I think it was Benjamin Mendy, then now it's Mason.
Yeah.
And do you know what I think about a lot of it is? There's not really, they get given all this money and all this power when they're 20. I know for a fact if I was given a lot of money at the age of 20, without having my parents there to, really tell you how the world works and everything, and I was always brought up on a very strict basis. I wasn't given any extra pocket money and, things like that, that you've always got to be, as polite as you can to people. Obviously, we all have our bad days and stuff, but I think in terms of this illegal sort of behavior that you're doing or demonstrating rather, that is, they don't have any guidance. I mean, where are the people at these clubs to teach them sort of, loads of footballers, for instance, go broke when they finish it because they haven't say, where is the guidance on sort of how to handle this sort of fame and that? Because for me, it's sort of, I am this sort of person, so you have to do what I say.
I think that with the fame side of it to footballers, it comes very, very quickly. A few years ago, back in the day, a little bit, you would be like 20, 21 before you got into the first team and started. Now they're teenagers getting into it. And the money is unbelievable. And I think that with money, comes power. And with power comes abusing that power. Yeah.
But a collection of both.
A collection of both, and it can happen in all sorts of walks of life, you know what I mean? Even this, with ourselves, things change, you know what I mean? And you have to, all of a sudden, you are in the limelight and you have to change your attitude to certain things, and
it's not even just footballers, it's bloody movie directors, producers, all this sort of stuff like that. It seems to be an issue. And for me actually as well, I have friends that you would probably class as famous, whatever. They don't behave that way. If they ever were to, I'd call them out on it. For me, a famous person is absolutely no different to me, to you, to anybody else. For some reason, because they're on a TV screen, it makes you think in your mind they're different from you. Yeah, but they're not. It really is a huge illusion.
And it does. Even doing this sort of thing now, people perceive myself or you as differently. I've seen it.
They speak to you differently when they see you about.
Yeah, they do. You know what I mean? And you've got a responsibility to yourself and your family and everything like that, to go about that. The other thing is, even this side of it can get to your head and you think that you can be indestructible. But
part of that, why that is as well, because these big corporate companies allow it to happen. They allow it to happen. If, for instance, if this was proven this was an issue and Mason Greenwood was proven guilty, United should absolutely say never allow back. But will they? Because I don't know.
Well,
it takes years and years, 10, 20 years sometimes for people to be brought to justice, which shouldn't.
If you look at certain things, as we say, is innocent until proven guilty at the moment, but I'm pretty sure Manchester United will do something if if it happens.
Because a normal person would never even get the chance to do anything. They'd be fired.
Wales would do something with Ryan Giggs if proven it. AFTV done it with DT.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, with the DT situation.
Yeah.
I don't go too much into it, but you know, it got to the stage where he felt that he could brush it under the carpet, not tell the truth about it, and it would go away. The fact of the matter is, you're in a limelight situation now. There's always people looking to find things and do and you know, find out what's going on and then pull you to task. And that's exactly what's happening.
I just think you should conduct yourself in a nice way. We all make mistakes, and when you make a mistake, you have to admit you've made a mistake. I'm not talking about things as serious what we've seen with United this week, but I think just in a general, I think when you're a famous person, you seem to get away with a lot more. As well as for me, just in general.
Well, you do get away with a lot more, but then again, you don't. You know what I mean? There's people out there that are not famous that are probably doing exactly the same things as what other people are doing, and it's not highlighted. The fact is now that it's being highlighted, and it should be highlighted whether you're famous and whether you're not.
100%, and you should always have to face the consequences of your actions.
Yeah,
that's what we say. But I think a lot of people, especially if you're famous, just think, oh well, it's okay because he's famous and he didn't really mean to do it.
I chuck some money, get a topless solicitor on it or something like that, and we can sort this out.
Yeah,
it's been going on for years.
Yeah, and it's a years and years and years thing.
And you know, but what I will emphasise, most people are not like that. And listen, everybody can do things and make mistakes, and you know, and what's the most important thing is that they learn from that and don't make those mistakes again. But ultimately, you've got to own up to what you're doing,
and you have to be held accountable. I mean, this might be this is going, you know, even further. But R. Kelly, for instance, how many years did it take them to put him in jail where he is now? Years and years and years, because he just kept getting off because he was famous and he had a lot of money, and that basically is the way it is. And I hope people don't sort of look at these situations and just think, oh, but it's okay, because for some reason you want to believe that they're good when it's just not the case. So I
think now, like with particularly what's been going on with domestic violence over the last sort of few years,
for men and women,
I think that's important to say that it's starting to hit home now, and there's lots of more, and the more publicity it's getting and everything
with
now,
social media,
on social media, which sometimes can be a bad thing, but it can be a good thing as well.
Blessing and a curse.
It highlights the problems, and it's got to stop. You know what I mean? Like, no one should be going home frightened to go home, whether 100%. It be a woman or a man, like, you know, and being beaten up because of whatever reason and things like that, and stalking and things like that. It's got to be told it's not acceptable, and you've got to be able to live your life without not in fear.
Yeah. I mean, I think the main thing to take away from this video, and the reason we wanted to do this video, is purely just to say, famous or not famous, you should always be held accountable for your actions. You should always treat people with respect. You should always be non-judgmental. And hopefully, you know, that improves things in the long run. Because at the minute, I think there is too many inconsistencies, and I think a lot of it is just sort of favoritism, basically, on whether or not you get away with things. And I don't think that's how it should be.
You know, you shouldn't be getting away with things because you're rich as well.
But it should be everything, really, you know?
If you know what I mean, like, and that's where I think, like, too many times people think that they're rich and famous, they can get away with it.
Yeah. And it's not okay.
It's not okay.
No. Exactly. So we just wanted to do that video just to sort of clarify. We didn't really want, with everything that's gone on recently, to just ignore it, because I don't think that would be right. And I think, you know, everybody should just sort of just be nicer. Everyone just be nicer to everybody and conduct yourself in a nice way, as much as you can within the law.
That's it.
At least. Anyway, yeah. Hopefully do we want them to enjoy this video? Hopefully we educated people in some way.
And if you are having problems in all that thing, like,
speak up,
100%. Go and talk to the right people, and do not be in fear.
Yeah.
In your life.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid is the message you wanted for this video.